Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to put together a quick video for you guys just to run you through one of my latest builds that I'm using for this year's coyote hunting. I got some of this inspiration from another YouTuber, Amatine. It's A.Amatine. I think he's also known as like Texas Killer on YouTube. I'll put his name here in this video. But the inspiration came from, like, he posted this video of a 22-250 that he had. Running the OCM5 Otter Creek Labs suppressor, and he had that barrel tapered down and recessed to be able to accommodate that suppressor. I've owned like an Allen Engineering AEM5 for probably like the last 8 years, and I think I hadn't shot the thing in 5 years. I had it on a Mark 12 build, super cool build, but it's just been kind of a safe queen. So it got me thinking. You know, one, in his video, it was wicked quiet. So I'm like, okay, you know, me hunting a lot of the properties that hunt the landowners, you know, I don't want to be a nuisance to them. I don't want to bother them ever a lot. I've got access to a lot of private land here in western Wisconsin, so I don't want to be inconvenienced to them. So it had me thinking, you know, I was like, God, you know, if I repurpose that can to one of my coyote builds, it'll be wicked quiet. I can switch to a 22 cal, which this is a 22 Creedmoor. There's been a lot of hotness lately in the coyote hunting industry on this caliber, so I was like, let's give it a shot. Generally, I've been pretty happy with this build. You know, I think my only real complaint is it's a little heavy. You know, it's like 15, 16 pounds. But outside of that, I mean, it's super quiet, it's accurate, it's flat shooting. I've killed a bunch of coyotes with them so far. I'll play some footage here pretty soon. But before I do that, I wanted to run through this build with you guys. And then I'm gonna revisit some of my other builds that I got going as well, because I think that's helpful. I didn't have that much information on the 22 Creedmoor specific to coyote hunting, other than like a lot of online forums. There's not too many YouTube videos going over like builds and, you know, walking through some kill footage with it. So I wanted to do that just to kind of share with you guys. So starting at just the base of this build, I've got an Impact Precision 737 Action. I do interchange the barrel on this for when I get into PRS season. It is, if you go on, like, if you're into PRS, if you go online, there's a website, I forget what it is, but that website, like, the Impact Action is like the #1 action that's used for you know, some of the national champions in PRS. So it got me thinking, like, hey, I should get that. Been super happy with that action, or with this action. For a chassis, I've got the MDT ACC Premeir Gen 2. It's got a 15-inch free-floating handguard. This is a 20-inch Bartlein M24 contour barrel. And I said, you know, it's a 15-inch handguard, but a 20-inch barrel, because this can is recessed about 4 inches. I got about an inch clearance right here on this, between the handguard and the suppressor on that. So it's cool because relatively it's a pretty short overall length gun here. I did opt for the folding buttstock. It's cool design. I mean, the folding buttstock, I was concerned with like any slop or it being loose, but like, it's absolutely solid. I don't fold this as often as I thought I would, and I think just the reason being is, like, it's a heavy build as is. So just like getting in and out of the truck, like folding it, it's just another step. I just throw it in the bed, you know, in the back of my truck and go. You know, I got kids and whatnot, so I got car seats and all that. So I'm moving. I got so much crap piled up in there that I just try to keep it simple. You know, I drive up to a stand, I pull my rifle out, I get my X24, I got my thermal scanner, I got my 2-vets tripod, and, you know, I try to just put my gun on the tripod, put it on my shoulder, and walk it out there. For a trigger, I'm running a Trigger Tech Diamond. And for the optic, I've been running a Rix Leap L6. I've had this optic for at least 2 years, if not longer. It's their first generation, so I took a bet on Rix because they weren't very popular yet when I first bought this optic. But the price point, you know, it's a 640 resolution thermal. Like, it was like it was the only real way I could justify getting, you know, my first thermal just at that price point, and I don't regret my decision on it. You know, when I move into getting my next thermal, I'm still trying to make a decision. Like, knock picks is really sexy to me. However, like, Rix has absolutely killed it with their DB6 and DB12 with that laser rangefinder on it, so I'm considering that as well. I do have a laser rangefinder on this. It's Bluetooth enabled. It works okay. And I say okay because it depends on weather. You know, here in western Wisconsin, about less than a month ago, I was doing a hunt. It was negative 33 degrees with a wind chill. And with this laser rangefinder, it didn't work. It was too cold. The optics still worked, but the laser rangefinder wasn't working for me. You know, also it drains a lot of battery, but that's just with any optic with a integrated laser rangefinder. I think my biggest complaint on it is just that it's a little, you know, a little obstructive. It's cumbersome. Like it gets hung up on stuff. So, and I gotta remember to like turn the freaking thing on too, which is kind of annoying. But I'm not dogging Rix. I mean, I've killed a ton of dogs with this gun or with this optic. I've been super happy with it. I think just a few other things that I'll run through before I show you some kill footage is I got 22 Creedmoor is pretty popular as of lately in the coyote hunting community. Horizon Firearms has been like the absolute, you know, I mean, they're the ones that really ultimately designed the cartridge and partner with Hornady to get it SAMI approved and on the market in production. You know, I was reading online forums, I was watching videos, and a lot of people were like, you know, saying like, yeah, the 22 Creedmoor absolutely stones them, drops them dead in their tracks. While that is true, you need to be considerate of shot placement with this caliber. And I was a little surprised by it, but at the end of the day, shot placement is everything. I mean, that's with every animal that you take. You don't want to just be wounding animals or anything like that. You want a clean, ethical shot. With this particular caliber, you know, I've shot some coyotes center mass that have gone a little ways. It was surprising me at first, but hey, you just got to hit that central nervous system. I'm not taking unethical shots. You know, I'm typically shooting coyotes under 200 yards. Have I shot them further? Sure, yes I have. Was I confident of those shots? Yes. I've got a ballistics calculator built into this. I validated that information. Like, I'm very confident in the precision and accuracy of this build in order to take a coyote ethically. You know, for ammunition, I'm just shooting the Hornady Hornady ELD-M, the 80 grain projectiles. I've read into, you know, I'm a reloader. I figured I'd just shoot a bunch of the Hornady box ammo, get this barrel broken in, and then from there I'll probably get into reloading for this caliber, and maybe I'll look into like the Sierra, formerly known as Blitz Kings. Now I think they're like, I don't know, SVK, so Sierra Varmint or King or something like that. Those have been probably pretty popular. Otherwise, you know, they got the ELD VT as well in 69 grain. So I may consider some of those, but the ELD-M has been working fine for what I'm using. But I'm not, you know, the biggest advocate of the caliber. I'm very open to other different types of bullets, and I think I mentioned that the bullet as a caliber, but like the bullet itself, the design. I guess only other thing that I'll mention for like some of the equipment that I'm using, I'm running a Fox Pro X24. Been running that for probably like 2 years now. It's been great. You know, I started off with like an $80 Amazon call. I killed a bunch of coyotes using that call. That was back in the day when I only had night vision and like a PEC 15. You know, IR laser. Now that I moved to thermal, I got the X24. It's really up my game. One of the more recent investments is I bought a better tripod. I've got the Two Vets tripod. It's like the Recon V2. It's got the inverted legs, so it's thicker towards the base and thinner towards the bottom. This works great. I think like the height wise, like this, I'm 6'2". This goes up to like right around 64 inches, so it's plenty of height, especially if I got uneven terrain or I'm standing on the upper, end of a hill. I got no complaints with this tripod. I got on eBay a Really Right Stuff Anvil 30 ball head. It's been pretty good itself. I really like the two vet strap ball heads. I used one of their ball heads for a couple of years, had a lot of success out of it. I just like this this handle on it. So only other thing that I'm gonna hit on is just my helmet scanner. So I got an RH25 helmet scanner. I got an Ops 24 bump helmet. You don't need to buy an Ops core. You can get yourself Chinese bump helmet. I just run a little battery pack. I took it out a moment ago, probably charging or something like that. But this has been an absolute game changer because I've got so much more situational awareness than previously than when I was just 100% relying on looking through my thermal. I've got a Wilcox G24. If I can find this, I'll post a link, but I've got this like Chinese knockoff dual bridge for the RH25. It's like $125. It works great. I'm happy with it. You don't need to be spending $800 on a bridge. But all right, guys, let's jump into it. I'll run you through some kill footage using this build.